Greater Israeli ambition. Greater Israeli ambition, making Israel great, has steamrolled the citizen of this world to a point where these Zionists, they are going to do anything and everything possible, including committing genocide after genocide after genocide, to make that goal and that ambition come true. And this is why it is so dangerous. And at the same time, this is why we need to talk about this. But before I do that and discuss more with you about this recent development coming from Jeffrey Sachs, I want you to consider subscribing to my channel and support my channel to grow. For the greater Israeli project to come true, they must need help from Trump the way they were getting help from Joe Biden. I repeat, for the greater Israeli ambition to come true, to come into fruition, the Zionists, need Donald Trump's support the way they were getting support from Joe Biden. Now, take a listen at this particular video. Before I play Jeffrey Sachs' video, I want you to take a look at what this monster is talking about.
I want to thank President Trump for his unwavering support for Israel. During my recent visit to Washington, I said that Donald Trump is the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. And President Trump shows that friendship each and every day. He has shown it through his visionary plan for Gaza. This is a plan which Israel fully supports.
Okay, so again, no, he doesn't support. Israel doesn't support whatever Donald Trump is doing. It is just on the surface level, you see Netanyahu is praising Donald Trump because that's not what this shaitan wanted. He did not want any vision about Gaza by Donald Trump. He just wanted to continue the genocide. That's as plain and as simple as it gets. He wanted to continue genocide, but Trump stopped him. But nevertheless, it shows how much they'll care, how much they are willing to grovel to Trump to make that greater Israeli ambition come true. What I'm talking about, I shared this video in the past and you have seen this. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be playing the audio, but this lady, she's a Zionist, a woman from Israel, talking about the greater Israeli plan, and she's showing the map how Israel will be able to conquer more lands, capture more lands, all the way up to Saudi Arabia in order for that greater Israeli ambition to come true. Now, let's talk about Jeffrey Sachs' video and see what he has to say, or how he's suggesting that this can be stopped by none other than the United States. Take a listen.
Do you think Prime Minister Netanyahu understands that?
Look, the government in place is a government with the one aim and one aim only, and that is to build what they call Greater Israel, which means to control all of the Palestinian lands in the West Bank, in East Jerusalem, in Gaza, and for some of them into Lebanon, into Syria, because one of the biblical statements talks about the land all the way from the Nile to the Euphrates. So there are even more grandiose ideas based on biblical literalism. So that's their goal. They don't need to understand anything more. They want to keep fighting until they kill all these people, until they expel them. And they're hoping and counting on U.S. politics to continue to fight this war for them. The question for this new administration, after the miserable failure that we just had for 4 years, is whether the United States will regain its own foreign policy. The United States has done Netanyahu's bidding, literally funding whatever he wants, providing the armaments for whatever he wants. And now the question for Trump is, does he have a foreign policy, or is he just handing it over to Netanyahu the same way? That's what we're going to find out soon. If Trump wants a successful government, one that isn't enmeshed in this terrible bloodshed in which the U.S. is complicit in war crimes and crimes against humanity and genocide, and a war that divides our country and divides the world, that costs a lot of money, that poisons his whole administration. If he doesn't want that, he has to tell Netanyahu one thing, which is the United States is going to support a state of Palestine on the borders of the 4th of June, 1967, whether Israel likes it or not. Israel has no veto over that. International law says should be a state of Palestine. The UN General Assembly says there should be a state of Palestine. The G20 countries say there should be a state of Palestine. The Arab Peace Initiative says there should be a two-state solution with a state of Palestine. The whole world is on this side, except in the failed Biden, Blinken, Sullivan administration. The U.S. used its veto at the UN to block the arrival of a state of Palestine, and therefore the war has continued. Trump should decide, does he want this to be the albatross of his government, or does he want to do other things with his presidency? And if he wants to do other things, it's not even hard. The U.S. just needs to change one vote in the UN Security Council, establish a state of Palestine, and by the way, peace would follow that, because that's all that the neighboring countries are saying.
But
every one of them.
He is surrounded, at least his foreign policy and national security team consists of deep professed Zionists. He has Mrs. Adelson to contend with. Do you think he'll be as subservient to Netanyahu as Biden was, or do you think these two big egos, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, are going to clash and Trump's not going to put up with it much longer?
I think that the latter is more likely if someone can explain to President Trump the real situation, that the idea of that somehow there'll be an end run around Palestine, or it's not important, that the Saudis will normalize with Israel. Somebody has to explain, and I think the one that will do it, by the way, is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I think that they will explain very clearly to Donald Trump, look, peace is absolutely within reach. You want a Nobel Prize, you want a Nobel Peace Prize, you want not to be dragged down like Biden by this, not even hard, straightforward, absolutely within reach. So this is really the question. Yes, we've had decades in which the Israel lobby has controlled U.S. foreign policy. President Trump says he wants to make America great again. That means that America would have its own foreign policy. It's pretty straightforward.
Wow. I mean, he hinted the clearest way that United States can stop this greater Israeli lunatic ambition. Clearest way, which is just one vote that needs to be changed at the Security Council. And it is so pathetic for Joe Biden, Genocide Joe, that he steamrolled his policy on the world in UN when he every time vetoed a peace resolution for the people of Gaza. If you don't remember, you can visit those sessions from UN and see how the United States representative, they were voting against any ceasefire with Hamas when this genocide was taking place. Pathetic for Joe Biden, but hopefully Trump will be different. So far, he's doing good. I'm not a Trump supporter at all in any way, shape, or form. I'm in fact his critic. I look out for any of his comments that goes against the people of Palestine, and I call him out. That's what I do here. So don't call me I'm a Trump shill. No, I'm not. Thank you guys for your comments. I have some comments here from Dina Doom. Thank you guys. See you in the next video, Chris. And have a wonderful day. Take care.